I don't train 6 days a week. I don't do crazy volume and I don't follow some trendy influencer program. I train 3 days a week and I look better now than I ever did hitting the gym almost every day. And in this video, I'm going to share a simple system that actually works, especially if you're a natural. But real quick, before you invest your time in this video, you might be thinking, who am I and why should you listen to me? First thing is, I'm not trying to be some influencer or fitness model. I'm just a guy who was super skinny and figured out what actually works to build muscle naturally. And now I'm breaking it down so you don't waste years like I did. And my goal is just to help you get jacked in a simplified way. And here's the truth that most people won't tell you in the fitness industry. Most fitness advice is made by guys on gear for guys on gear. And gear is slang for steroids. If you're new to the industry, you're going to hear gear, you're going to hear enhance, all these things. So if you're not enhanced, you can't train like them, eat like them, or recover like them and expect the same results. I used to fall for that. I would train 6 to 7 days a week doing bro splits, always chasing the pump, doing drop sets and supersets and running the rack and all these different phrases, all these hacks I thought would magically bring me gains. I did everything they said to do, but I still pretty much looked the same. I was somewhat pumped when I was in the gym, but I looked average, in everyday life and in a t-shirt and not getting any stronger, any bigger. This was frustrating because I was consistent. I did work hard, but nothing really changed. And that's why I'm so passionate about this now to share the real advice. It's not sexy, it's simple. And what I'm gonna share actually works. And it wasn't until I took a step back and said, all right, what actually builds muscle naturally? Like, why does a muscle grow? Like, it cannot be this complicated. I shouldn't have to do all these mesocycles and all these phases and all this crazy stuff. Like, I should be able to pick weights up like the old school lifters like Steve Reeves and Leroy Colbert did, train a few times a week and recover.
Pessoal, rapidinho, sabia que mais de 90% das pessoas que assistem os meus vídeos ainda não são inscritas? Só 9% são inscritos aqui no canal. Então, se esse vídeo está te ajudando de alguma forma, clique aí para se inscrever, deixa o seu like e bora mudar esse número. Assim, você não perde nenhum conteúdo novo e ainda fortalece o canal. Valeu demais e agora bora continuar.
That's when everything shifted. I stopped chasing pump workouts and started chasing progression. Let me repeat that again. I didn't do pump workouts anymore. I started chasing progression. I trained fewer days, but with more intensity. So my workouts became more challenging. Every single rep, every single set, I was pushing to the bleeding edge without getting injured. I recovered. I tracked everything and I stayed consistent. And my physique finally started to grow. So if you think you're doing everything right and you're getting tired of it and you kind of look like you lift, here's what I would do. Train 3 to 4 days a week. And if you're limited on time, 3 is fine. And it's what I'm currently doing. And it's what I'm going to be sharing in this example. I would train upper, lower, upper, or push, legs, pull. Tuesday for me is upper, Thursday is lower, and then Sunday is upper again. You can train on any day, but just have a rest day in between each training day and then 2 days in a row at some point in the week, or just rotate on and off. And then some weeks you will train 4 days, some 3. So you might go upper rest, lower rest, upper rest, lower rest. Just keep repeating that. Me personally, I like to have 2 days off just to give my body enough recovery. So each session starts with one heavy compound, and it could be bench, incline bench, overhead press, weighted pull-ups, squats, trap bar deadlifts, just anything like that. That's just like a good compound movement that's using a lot of your muscle groups. Right now, I'm doing incline bench, overhead press. I just swapped out the weighted pull-ups for lat pull-downs. And then instead of squatting, I'm now doing pendulum squats. Whatever lift you pick, stick with it for the next 12 weeks. Don't just change it every single week. And for that lift, you could aim for 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps, rest your 2 to 3 minutes, and then make sure you're tracking your numbers in your notes app, in a notebook, or just in some type of app. All of my programs that I share can be accessed in an app. Just check the link under this video to learn more. And then after the compound movement, that's when we move on to your accessories. And it's what I call the aesthetic builders. I do incline dumbbell press, incline flies, lateral raises, curls, tricep extensions, face pulls, split squats, hamstring curls, calf raises. Like I said, all this is broken down inside of my programs. I'm just kind of giving you guys an overview so this video isn't 20 minutes long, but just pick, good exercises that balance the rest of your workout from your compounds and build the aesthetic. So like for me on pull-ups and on lat pull downs, I like to do stuff wide grip for the V taper. And then for, biceps, I like to do incline dumbbell curls, but Most of my accessory movements are where I get more of my volume or my pump work. So the first part of the workout starts out a little bit heavier with a lower rep range for strength. And then the next part of the workout or phase two is aesthetic. So I'll do anywhere from 3 to 5 sets. If I only do 3 sets on that first, compound movement, then that next movement will be 5 sets. So instead of doing 6 to 10 reps, I push either 8 to 12, 8 to 15, depending on what movement it is. And then for the accessories, it's about a 90-second rest. What I want to keep kind of hammering in this video though is when you train low volume, you need to push yourself. Like, I always say, like, at the end of your set, like, you should be doubting if you can get it. Your face should be somewhat red. You should be sweating. You should be breathing hard. Like, when your mind's telling you to stop, that's when you know, okay, I'm in that growth zone. Don't push so hard though that you're going to actually injure yourself. Like, there's a balance to this. But here's an example of what a pull day would look like and what I'm kind of sharing in this video. I start off with wide grip lat pull downs. I then move to my chest supported T-bar row. So I have a horizontal pull and then a vertical pull for the balance. I then do machine rear delt flies, also katanas or cable rear delt flies. Then we move on to biceps, which is incline dumbbell curls and then cable curls. And you might be thinking, like, Eric, you're only training a muscle group once a week and then you're doing less than 12 total sets. Like, there's no way you're going to grow from that. And it's like, I'm telling you guys, this works. You don't need as much volume as you think, but you need to train hard. Every rep and every set, you have to absolutely push yourself. And if you're new, give yourself some time to learn the movements. Don't just jump in and go absolutely berserk. Like, build yourself up. Just don't get injured, because that's the biggest setback. And remember, building muscle is a marathon. So what about deloads? I personally don't think about deloads much because I train 3 days a week. Recovery is no problem for me. I do encourage rotating exercises though to avoid overuse. So you might do this every 12 to 16 weeks or every 3 to 4 months. And you could do like incline bench to dumbbell bench or wide grip lat pull down to close grip or pull ups, just a slight variation of the movement. And this isn't required, but it can help you change up the movement patterns and avoid the overuse injuries on your joints. Now for the food, really simple. I eat real food. Eat the food God put on this earth. That's how I look at it, not some artificial garbage with 27 different, made up ingredients. You will not only feel better, but it makes getting lean effortless. So that could look like ground beef, grass-fed, organic chicken, chicken thighs, chicken breast, free range, your eggs as well, rice, potatoes, fruit, avocados, honey, milk, just anything that is somewhat natural, organic, grass-fed, and free range if possible. And then my protein target right now is just 1 gram per pound of body weight. I don't really track macros. I just eat clean, real foods, and it makes staying lean effortless. And then for sleep, if you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, don't expect to grow and don't expect to have any major progress. Just black out your room, no caffeine 8 hours before bed. Turn down your thermostat so your room is pretty cold, and then avoid blue light or your phone about an hour before bed. That's how I get the best sleep. I also take a magnesium supplement. It's magnesium glycinate. So it's really good. It helps me sleep, helps with recovery. And most importantly, guys, just stay consistent. This is the part nobody talks about. The real reason most guys stay average is they don't stick with anything long enough to see it work, which just frustrates me because they overthink, they jump programs, they quit when it gets boring. But this game is boring. It's repetition, it's discipline, it's tracking, it's eating, it's lifting, it's sleeping over and over for months and years. That's how physiques are built, not on trends or any 30-day shred challenges, but on execution. So if you want to look like you actually lift, not just a guy who goes to the gym for years and years and looks the same, follow what I just laid out. And if you want my exact system, just my step-by-step workouts in an app, progression tracking, real food meal plans, everything laid out. So all you have to do is follow the plan. That's what my course Average to Jacked is for. It's what I wish I had back when I was lost and frustrated. The link's below if you're interested. But either way, stop wasting time, stop spinning your wheels, stop overcomplicating fitness, and just follow the plan.